Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Azam Khan. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Proactive checks on illegal construction in detached houses are to be carried out after a landslide revealed unauthorized work in an upmarket estate. Liaison Office Director Zheng Yanxiong warns that hostile groups remain a threat. And Rosary-hill Secondary School in Wanchai will close down after 3 years. The government says it inspects unauthorized building structures according to priority. Development Chief Bernadette Lin also revealed that there will be a proactive check on illegal construction work in detached houses. Janice Lowe reports.
The once-in-a-century torrential downpours last week triggered landslides that exposed unauthorized structures in some luxury houses in upscale Red Hill Peninsula. Taking to the airwaves this morning, Development Minister Bernadette Lin revealed that the Buildings and Lands departments will soon kick off a proactive inspection in the Taitem estate. She refuted claims that the government has neglected any illegal construction.
Each year, they have to prioritize the caseload involving unauthorized building works on hand. And with that prioritization list, they act according to the priority and do the inspection work. So they are not sitting there and do nothing, but it is a matter of prioritization.
Lin said checkups are prioritized according to the risk and scale of construction. The focus used to be on unauthorized work in high-rise urban buildings. Lin said this was because those structures pose a greater risk to passers-by and vehicles. She noted that the illegal structures that have been detected in detached houses in Red Hill Peninsula so far are either situated on the slope or face the sea. The Chinese language newspaper Mingpao, meanwhile, reported that flood prevention work in some parts of the city have yet to be completed 10 years after they were proposed. Lin said remedial work in densely populated urban areas is more complex and takes time. Janice Lowe, HKIBC.
There's been another road blockage after heavy rain triggered a landslide, this time in Sai Kung. Following the red alert signal overnight, there were floods in Sai Kung, Sha Tin, and Tai Po districts, with 70 millimeters of rainfall recorded. A landslide occurred at Po Le Che in Sai Kung, and trees fell on the road. This blocked the only vehicle lane connecting the nearby village of Kap Pin Long Sai Chun with the main streets. People can only move around on foot as vehicles are banned until repairs are completed. Beijing's top representative in Hong Kong has praised police for helping to safeguard national security, but Liaison Office Director Zheng Yanxiong warned that hostile groups are trying to make a comeback. Chloe Feng reports.
It's the first time that a liaison office director has inspected the passing out parade at the police college in Wanchai. Zheng Yanxiong praised officers, saying they serve in a profession of honor to safeguard the security of the country and citizens. He cited several occasions when their work was recognized by senior Beijing officials, including President Xi Jinping, who met police representatives when he visited the SAR last year.
香港警队是守护香港一国两制实践的重要力量。
Hong Kong police played a significant role in safeguarding the one country, two systems principle, Zheng said, adding that they contributed significantly to the city's transition from chaos to order in recent years. He said they protected social stability and cracked down on activities that endangered national security. But he warned that there are still hostile foreign forces and anti-China elements trying to disrupt Hong Kong's development and stability. The parade marked the graduation of 28 probationary inspectors and 127 constables. In May, the force eased entry requirements in the wake of a hiring slump.
喺5月到8月為止咧，一共咧係有5241
Commissioner Raymond Siu said the move saw the number of recruits surging 70% year-on-year to over 5,200 between May and August. Chloe Feng, HKIBC.
Rosary-hill Secondary School in Wanchai says it will close its doors after 3 years. The school's founding body said the decision was taken because of unprecedented challenges in the ever-evolving education landscape. Janice Lowe has a story.
Rosary-hill Secondary School, which has been operating in Wanchai for 64 years, has announced that it will shut after the 2025-26 academic year. This means it will stop admitting new students starting from the 2024 school year. All remaining first to third formers have to transfer to other subsidized schools through the central placement arrangement. Its sponsoring body, Dalton Foundation and Dominican Missions, said the kindergarten and primary sections of Rosary-hill School will merge with Dalton School Hong Kong in the next academic year. It pointed out that under the ever-evolving educational landscape, educators have been facing unprecedented challenges. Dominican Missions believes the decision is in the best interest of the students. Some parents who returned to the school for a briefing about the arrangement said they were saddened by the decision. This father of two said Rosary-hill School offers teaching in 3 languages, but Dalton School will teach only in Putonghua and English after the merger. As a Hong Konger, I prefer my sons to be able to speak more in Cantonese instead of communicating with me in Putonghua, he added.
很意外，因为我们刚刚入学。
This woman was shocked by the news, but she said she understood that student numbers have been dropping drastically. A dual-stream curriculum will be rolled out at Dalton School Hong Kong at Rosary-hill. It will turn into a through-trained institution with kindergarten, primary, and secondary education after 3 years. Janice Lowe, HKIBC.
Police have received over 80 complaints in connection with the cryptocurrency exchange, JPEX. Commissioner Raymond Siu says the amount involved is $34 million. Chloe Feng has more.
3 days after the Securities and Futures Commission warned that the cryptocurrency exchange JPEX did not apply for a license, Police Commissioner Raymond Siu said at least 83 complaints were received as of 3 p.m. yesterday, involving virtual assets worth about $34 million. The Commercial Crime Bureau is investigating.
咁喺呢度咧，我都呼籲，如果有任何市民對
Siu said worried investors should phone the police 24-hour hotline. He pledged to ramp up efforts to combat internet and technology-related crimes. JPEG's official website and its promotions claimed that it is licensed and recognized. But the securities watchdog said the firm did not apply for a license to operate a virtual asset trading platform in Hong Kong. The commission ordered JPEX not to promote its services and products. The firm, meanwhile, admitted that it has not applied for a license, but has been preparing documents to submit an application. The commission warned investors to be cautious about opportunities that seem too good to be true. JPEX established its presence in Hong Kong over 2 years ago, with aggressive promotions at major MTR stations. The case comes as the authorities step up efforts to rein in virtual asset risks. Chloe Feng, HKIBC.
Overseas, volunteers are trickling into Derna, the city worst hit by Libya's devastating floods. As residents search desperately for buried relatives, the death toll climbed above 11,000, with at least 10,000 more still unaccounted for. 1 week after a devastating hurricane struck Libya, the dreadful reality is sinking in. Groups of volunteers from across the North African state have trickled into the eastern port city, Derna, which suffered the most after 2 dams burst, magnifying the deluge. Authorities are restricting access to the flooded city to make it easier for those already there to search for the more than 10,000 people still missing. There was nothing Derna residents could have done, as a wall of water descended onto the city and killed thousands within seconds. Survivors said house after house, across neighborhoods, had entire families dead. This Derna survivor dug the ground to try and reach his buried relatives, saying there's been no government help for 5 days. This grieving local said he does not know how to carry on without being able to bury his family. The nightmare has been compounded by fears of waterborne diseases and the shifting of explosive ordnance during the floods. Public prosecutor Al-Sadiq Al-Sur vowed to prosecute those responsible for the Derna Dam disaster. After much suffering, people want answers and accountability, which, in a country that was already suffering civil strife before the ravaging deluges, will be that much more tedious. Residents did their best to give a semblance of a burial ritual for those they could. Abdullah, who helped bury the dead, said nothing can be said to convey the deep sorrow, but added that humans belong to God and will return to him. Outrage is growing in India and Seattle after it was learned that an officer made insensitive remarks when an Indian student was fatally hit by a police car in the U.S. city.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead. No, it's a regular person. Yeah, just write a check. Just, yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
The voice recording was taken from a body camera worn by Auditor, who was called to the scene to investigate. Jahanvi Kandula, a master's exchange student from the southern Indian state of Andhra Pradesh, was crossing a road when she was hit by a speeding police car. She was 23, not 26, as the police union leader mentioned. Kandula was killed in January, but the recording has only just been released.
I think this has galvanized people because it's so blatant and disrespectful. To put a value on a human life at $11,000 galvanizes the community to see just how horrible this kind of conduct really is.
6 members of a religious cult have been arrested in the U.S. state of Georgia after a South Korean woman was found beaten and starved to death.
Detectives believe that the victim was brought over from South Korea sometime in the summer under the guise or under what she thought to believe joining a religious organization. They called themselves Soldiers of Christ. Apparently the victim was subjected to beatings, malnourishment, which subsequently resulted in what the medical examiner's office believes the cause of her death.
5 adults and a minor were detained after the victim's body was found in the boot of a car. The vehicle was parked outside a South Korean spa in Duluth, about 40 kilometers north of the state capital, Atlanta. On to the weather now. The wet conditions continue with more showers tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 26 and 30 degrees, but the sun will come out a bit more in the following days. That's our main news for Saturday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Azam Khan. Good evening.